RWBY, Volume 4, Episode 9. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. What happens? The episode begins with Yang and Tai sparring, as it's established that Yang put her arm on weeks ago. The two then talk about how Yang relies too much on her semblance to win. The conversation shifts to Raven and how she ended up tearing Team Stark apart. After ending on some advice from Tai, the two go another round. We then cut to Weiss, who's practicing her summoning until she's interrupted by Whitley. The two have a little spat and Weiss continues her training and succeeds in summoning the armor. Remember how Blake and Sun had encountered a spy last episode? Well, now we're back to that! There's a small chase scene and the three begin to fight. It's revealed that Blake knows the spy and Sun gets stabbed as Ilya vanishes. We then jump to Ranger and Crow. The gang finds a fork in the road and after some deliberation, they split up. The episode ends with another hint at the Knuckle-Lavi. I sure am glad that we missed out on an entire character arc with Yang. Her losing her arm is a big deal, and her learning to live with a new one should have been the focus she got this volume. But no, instead she disappears for 4 episodes and now she's totally better. She even says, I thought it'd be this huge weight, but it feels natural. So now she can fight exactly the same as she always had and apparently didn't have any trouble adjusting to using a robo-arm. So why the fuck did she lose the arm in the first place? It was a huge build-up for no payoff. She's exactly the same as before, only a bit shinier. Losing her arm has resulted in 0 character development for her. Instead of watching her adjust to living with a new disability, the RT crew just seemingly jumped to the next plot point for her. Why watch her grow from needing a prosthetic, when we could instead focus on how frequently she uses her semblance? If you're not gonna have her develop at all from losing an arm, then there's no reason for her to lose it. It would have been interesting to see her learn how to use it. Maybe she can't feel that arm and ends up smashing a glass because she can't tell when she's gotten a grip on it. Maybe she tries sparring with Tai and ends up doing poorly because she has a harder time judging how much she needs to extend her arm to land a hit. Maybe she does her fist bump thing and ends up hurting her hand, not thinking about the repercussions of punching sharp metal. But no, we don't get to see any of that, and Yang doesn't get to grow at all. Losing a limb should be a life-changing event for a character, resulting in them growing to some capacity. But for Yang, all losing her arm has done is given her an edgier design. Tai's right about Yang's over-reliance on her semblance, and I'm interested to see how Yang changes to fight smarter. But it just feels like the RWBY crew was too excited to get to this point in Yang's development, and ran through the part where she needed to learn how to live with this new dramatic change to her life. Why have a character lose an arm if they're not gonna grow from it? A sentence that you would think wouldn't have to be uttered when you're talking about fucking anime, but whatever. I'm glad Zwei doesn't look like a tube goblin anymore. I don't know, I just never really found him all that cute before. I knew he was supposed to be cute, but he just wasn't, you know? But he actually looks like a dog now, and I've jumped aboard the Zwei's adorable train. The performances during the scene are really great. Bernie's always been a top-tier voice actor, and Barbara's easily the best of the main RWBY girls. The visuals are a bit boring, especially once Tai sticks himself near the tree, but the acting definitely doesn't disappoint. Really, Raven's the one who tore Team Stark apart. Not the one who's super bad luck so he can't fight with his friends and needs to keep his distance all the time or they'll get hurt? Sure. Why is there just no shading in this scene? It looks so flat and ugly. Like, I think it's supposed to be kinda dark in Weiss's room, but there should still be something. There was shading when Jean practiced in the woods and it was dark then, so why is it so unfinished looking here? It's interesting that Whitley's not a fighter, but is still an enemy. However, I have to wonder what his semblance is. The way Weiss speaks makes it seem as though he didn't inherit their glyphs. It could be interesting to see just how capable he could be in a fight, depending on how that plays out. It's fun to see how far Weiss has grown between volumes. Before she could only summon the armor's arm and that was an accident, and now she can summon the entire thing. But I kinda feel like we missed out on getting to see her work to get here. Once again, it feels as though we've missed out on watching her grow, though not nearly to the extent as Yang. Go through the window. You don't need to hatch a big escape plan and sneak out, just go through the window you broke. We've seen your landing strategy. We've seen you help RWBY scale mountains and towers with your glyphs. You just summoned your armor guy, have him carry and protect you. Summon a Nevermore and fly away. Just escape now! I think I got whiplash from that tone shift. You can't just go from quiet and calm to, oh fuck, we're running, get the bad guy! It's jarring and can confuse the viewer and break their immersion. Why is Sun so incompetent? It feels like for most of this volume, he's delegated to being the butt of every joke. Did he just forget how to be the suave, cool guy he used to be after being stuck on the boat for so long? That's some real nice fog. Ilya's mask is mighty stupid. It's bright as shit and shatters easily. Does Sun use his aura to make his copies? Is that why her attack did so much damage? If so, I think Yang's not the only one who needs to learn how to use their semblance better. Of course Blake knows Ilya. All faunists know each other. Oh goody, another new character. We don't get to spend much time with Ilya this volume. Thank goodness this volume's crowded enough as it is. I like to think she's Adam's new main squeeze. What do you think? But she doesn't even look like a faunus! Son, that's so rude. Also, Gira doesn't have any obvious animal features either. So, Ilya being a chameleon and changing colors is pretty neato. But when she does change color, it doesn't look great. It looks like they just stuck her in Photoshop and Phil bucketed her skin and hair. Hopefully this gets an upgrade next volume. Oh, now you care that he's hurt. Sure didn't seem to bother you much when he wanted to talk to you earlier.
You don't understand. He can't compliment me if he's dead.
It looks like Ranger stumbled upon the place where the Jungle Book's climax happens. Maybe if you look hard enough, you could find a bunch of doofy vultures. I don't care about the Jungle Book, why do I keep talking about it? The gang seem to be taking their sweet time on this walk. I get that they can't really hurry while carrying Crow, but only two of them need to do that. Wouldn't it be smarter if the one with super speed and the one that gets a boost from lightning run off ahead to get help? You don't have the map? That's fucking stupid. All you did was drop it on the dirt. It didn't get muddy or wet or blow away or anything. Were you in too much of a hurry to make your campsite that you forgot to run back a couple yards and grab your fucking map? This is such a lame excuse for them to not know what's ahead. In the director's commentary, Miles and Carrie mentioned that they had planned for Tyrion to rip up their map, but decided, that sounds hard, just have them drop it. You know what that sounds like to me? We don't have to try, we can get their money anyway. What a stupidly lazy decision. If they continue to take the easy way out like this, then RWBY's quality is going to plummet. Why would RWBY think Kuroyuri would be helpful? It's been deliberately crossed out on its sign. That doesn't usually mean lots of goodies to help your sick uncle. I wish Ren's expression was more extreme here. Neith sounds angry in his performance, but Ren just looks kinda miffed. His outburst silences the group for a moment, but the character model performance just doesn't really convey the emotion well. The scene is really good. All the performances rock and it's impactful. Ranger was a pillar of stability during the volume and now they have to split up. It's very, very effective. How come Jean didn't hug Nora? And why didn't RWBY get any hugs? Maybe because Ren's clearly the most upset about Kuroyuri. Or maybe because... Ship! 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 More fun foreshadowing. Seeing that footprint was super intriguing on a first watch. If there's one plot element they really thought about this volume, it's the Nukkalavi and all the build-up around it. And so, that's 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. This episode is all over the place. The tone shifts between quiet concentration to exciting chase scene to desperately gloomy. It feels like 4 different people are yelling at me, trying to get their story across first. Plot points like Yang's arm and Weiss's training feel rushed, while Ranger's conveniently lost map and Sun's injury feel lazy. This episode might be the ugliest this volume, with seemingly forgotten lighting and the tendency to just have everyone stand in one place as they talk. Blake's bit feels the strongest this episode, but also feels like an afterthought. Oh yeah, Blake encountered a spy. We should probably get back to that now. The pacing's constantly confused too, jumping from calm to exciting to calm to exciting. The acting's really solid, but that's not enough to save what ends up being one of the least interesting episodes of the volume. Half the characters have reached the end of an arc we didn't get to see and haven't seemed to have progressed at all. The other half just seem to be filling time. Can't have anything conclude until the last episode. In that regard, Ranger's the strongest here when it comes to the actual flow of the volume. But Weiss, Blake, and Yang all seem to just be waiting for the finale to get anything important done. A mediocre episode that ends up feeling rushed and lazy. This just seems to show that RT has to learn how to pace things out better, otherwise it'll end up a jumbled mess of unconnected stories like this.